Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our She is Hope LA 12-week curriculum course. We have a few classes left, and today we have the fabulous Dr. Raykel Tolson. She is an author, coach, a money mindset coach specifically for today, a podcast host, and a living benefits specialist. She's a regular speaker for our curriculum, and we're so thankful to have her. And all I could think of with this slide is, I've got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Thank you, Raykel. Please go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Tish, and thank you, She is Hope LA, for inviting me back. So I guess I didn't mess up last time.
Ooh, you were great. Are you kidding? I loved it. Everyone loved it. We got a lot of compliments. So you are fabulous. Own it.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but so I wrote a book called Why Church Folk Poor. I think I talked about it a little bit last time, and it was just about how I changed my mindset about money and just life. And so I wrote the book to help other people. Now, of course, some people hate the title, and it's okay. It's okay. But I did a lot about what happened with me and a lot about mindset. But then I founded a company that had the same kind of values that I did, called Five Rings Financial. And it came right after my aunt, who had cancer. She had lung cancer, and she passed away 4th of July. And one of the things that we did when she found out she had cancer, she was like, okay, well, I want to go on this trip. I've never been to Hawaii. So we're like, okay, we got to go all these places. We ended up going to Hawaii. She came to LA. So she had a good time, but we couldn't go on some of the other trips we wanted because she didn't have any money. She had to use credit cards, and her husband like, we're not going to, use all this credit. Then I found out about living benefits, life insurance, which you don't have to die to get your money. You get your benefits even when you're alive if you've been, diagnosed with a terminal cancer like she was, so she could have had it. So when I found out about that, I was like, well, I need to know more about this company and what they're about. But the main thing that they're about is not just about insurance, but it's just about educating people about money. And you would think that people would, we all have money. We've all, we should know, but we don't know about money. We didn't learn about that at school. None of us learned about this in school. I went to school not only from kindergarten to 12th grade, but then I went and got a pharmacy degree, and then I went and got a law degree. And then none of those classes was about how to manage money, how to, especially in the pharmacy school, because we actually graduate making a lot of money. It seemed like they should have had some kind of course of how to, really make your money work for you, but they don't. So here I am with all these degrees and not really understanding how money works. So that's why I love financial, and so now I'm all about, hey, let me educate people just like me, and especially single moms, because so most of us, we don't have help when it comes to, taking care of our kids, providing for them, for their futures. Like when you think about it, a lot of us, we're just taking care of our day-to-day needs. Well, we can't even think about future needs. So this is very important to me. So I came up with this idea of mind on my money because, like Tish, that's, that little song by Snoop Dogg, it's just the hook. I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. And so it's important that we plan our money, pocket our money, and protect our money. So the first thing I do, because I'm all about mindset, is to discuss some of the money beliefs that people have. And here, though, I want you to come off mute if you are on mute. And I have these, I'm going to read them aloud, but I need you to say, yep, that's a belief that I have, if you have it. Now, you might be good. You might not have any of these. But the first one, money is the root of all evil. Anybody? Did that stick in anybody's head? Now, the Bible quote is actually, the love of money is the root of all evil, but most people say money is the root of all evil. That's a horrible belief to have. Because if you think that money is evil, then what are you going to do when you get money? You're going to give it away. You're not going to invest. You're not going to say you don't want it because money is evil. Here's the one. This is my favorite one. And another song, Tish. More money.
I was going to start singing it. More money.
Right. More money, more problems. But is that something that anybody has, dealt with? Anybody has, dealt with? Is that a belief? Because if it is, then that will keep you from wanting to have more money. If you really believe that there's a such thing as more money, more problems. Oh, this is a good one. You have to work hard to get money. A lot of people think that you got to work hard. And then that means if they don't want to work hard, they're like, well, I don't want money because I don't want to work hard. But you really don't have to work hard to get money. Um, Here's a good one. It's only money. So when you spend it, it's just like, it's only money. Oh, you just blow it. It's only money. That's not really a great belief to, if you want to gain wealth, that's not a great belief. It takes money to make money. This is the one I know a lot of people struggle with, because if they don't have a lot of money, then they feel like they'll never have a lot of money because it takes money to make money, when actually that's not necessarily the truth. Oh, here's the one that a lot of people say, I'm not good with money. That's like, oh, I'm just not good with money. So that's like their excuse, but they believe that. And so they don't even try. They don't learn. They don't go to the educational programs that my company provides so they can learn more about money, so they can actually be better with money. And this was the one that really stuck with me as I was growing up. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven. Well, heaven is the goal. If you grew up in church, heaven is a goal. I mean, there's goals, but I mean, the ultimate goal is to make it into heaven. So if you're telling me that being rich is going to keep me out of heaven, then I don't want to be rich. And that's a lot of people are like that. They don't want to be rich because they want to get into heaven. So these are some beliefs that we have to free our mind so we can build wealth, because building wealth really should be the goal, because it's not just about hoarding money. Building wealth is to help other people. Like, what Tish is doing with She is Hope LA. When Tish builds wealth, I'm sure she's going to be basically giving the money back to the single moms that she meets. And that's how a lot of us, we give it to our church. We give to help people. We do a lot of good with our money. So good people should have money, because we are the people that's going to help other people. That's just real. Okay, so failure to plan is planning to fail. Do you have a financial plan? Are you working with a written budget? If the answer is no, you are not alone. So do not be, embarrassed. 65% of Americans said they don't even know how much they spent last month. That's real. That is so real. Because if you don't keep account of it, I don't know about you, but when I have cash, it just goes through my hand. I don't know what happened to it. It's like, what happened to the money I had? Because you just spend it. Personal budgeting statistics suggest that only 25% of American citizens have or use some sort of written financial plan. Most people hate the word budget. They feel like it's constrictive. I don't want to put myself.
It's the B word.
Nobody likes it. Nobody wants to write a budget. 25%. So if you don't have a budget, like I said, you're in good company. Only 30% of Americans have a long-term financial plan. Most people feel like when they retire, money is just going to be there. Hey, let me help you out. It might not be there. And if you're looking at the Social Security, it might be there, but it's a whole lot less than what you really need to live off of. A whole lot less. Especially living in California, we would not be able to live off the $2,000, $1,500 or whatever they give us a month. Only 29% of people believe they are planning, saving, and building toward a more positive future. If that is you, it is time to get intentional with our finances. Like, that's how you have to look at a budget. It's not that it restricts your spending. It makes your spending more intentional. So if you say, I want to save money to buy a house, then you're going to be more intentional putting that money away, as opposed to your money going to Starbucks. It's just like that, because a lot of us have money. We just aren't intentional with it, and it just goes kind of wherever. So some financial goals that everybody should have, because it really, when we was talking about it takes money to make money, it really doesn't. It takes a habit of saving money to have money. You got to get in the habit of saving money. We all need to have a 6 months of expenses for emergency. Like, seriously. Now, it's not based on how much you earn in your paycheck, it's how much you spend. So you might earn 3,000 a month, but you only spend about 1,800. So if you have 1,800 times 6, that is a good emergency fund for you. And another financial goal is to buy a home. Well, you got to start saving for that. Okay. And then, let me just say this, and I'm sure you guys may already know because you guys do deal with real estate. I'm sure you already had this conversation. But did you know? So we can use the FHA loan, right? 3.5% down. But when you get an FHA loan, the mortgage insurance that you have to pay is so high, and it will not drop off. Even when you get to the 20%, it won't drop off. You have to refinance. But did you know if you got a conventional loan, most people think you have to put 20% down. You don't. You can put down 10% on a conventional loan. So you'll be paying a PMI, the insurance, on that 10%, but it will drop off once you get to the 20%.
You can do less too. You can do 3 and 5% now too.
Oh, see, and the conventional loan is much better because the PMI for the conventional loan is much cheaper than the PMI for the FHA loan, which to me is crazy. And I'm thinking, why? Who set that up like that? It seemed like it should be the same because it's the same mortgage insurance, but it's not. So yes, if you just have to have a house and you want it and you only have a 3.5%, and that they say the only way you can go is the FHA, that may be great. But I'm saying if you go ahead and start saving your money now and try to get to at least that 10%, or if I would still say try to get that 10% for the down payment, it will be great. And you can help your children do the same. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, but we should be helping our children do that. I know people want to save for weddings and people want to get married. I don't know if y'all watch the show. It's called Married or Mortgage, Marriage, a Wedding or Mortgage. It's really interesting. But I'm like, I'm thinking, let's get a house. And then we can have a wedding in the backyard at your house. Okay, so other financial goals, college. College loans are sucking the life out of people. I had one. I know. It sucks the life out of you. And then even though, like you said, oh, well, you only have to pay $100 a month, to pay down your college loans. Most people are a lot more than that. But think about this. More than that. But think about this. $100 that you're paying for. That student loan, paying back the student loan, is $100 you could be investing in your retirement. So the people that are paying back student loans, so they probably aren't investing in their retirement. Where the people who don't have student loans, they are investing in their retirement. So having those student loans can put you at a disadvantage when, at the end, when you're not working anymore, retirement time. But I wholeheartedly believe in college, and if the only way you can go is to get student loans, then that's fine. But I'm saying, as parents, as grandparents, if we could help our children and grandchildren pay off student loans a lot quicker, then that's the goal. That's what I'm saying, financial goals. And then of course retirement, that has to be a financial goal. And then I put question mark because a lot of us want to quit jobs before retirement to start businesses. That's a financial goal, to have some money saved up for that. Now when you think about this, it's like, wow, if I was 60, when I was younger, if my parents would have saved this money for me and I had like all this money to, do these things with, wouldn't that be great? It would be great, right? If you had a rich uncle that died and left you all that money, it's like, that would be great. So we have to start saving now. Period. Even if it's just a little bit. And we have to teach our children, our grandchildren, to save money, because we all got financial goals. And if we don't, we need to, because I know everybody here has one of those financial goals sits well with you. Even just the emergency account. It's important. So a lot of people don't save money because they're like, Raykel, I don't have the money. I don't have the money to save. I'm like, I get it. So let's find some money. Let's find the money. At Five Rings, we call it a funnel, five rings funnel, that we help you find money to invest. And so, like insurances, I love the commercials with Flow, the bundle, the newest one. It's a bundle. It's a bundle. If you bundle your insurances, if you have your house and mortgage insurance, your car insurance, your or renter's insurance, if you put them all together, they will decrease it. So don't have insurances with all these different companies. Use one so you can get a discount. They also, for associations and different professionals, they give you discounts. So call your insurance company, find out what kind of discount. And guess what? You don't have to stick with the same insurance company. You might be able to find a cheaper one. As an insurance person, let me just say, especially like I say, a car insurance person, or these people, you just keep paying, and those people keep getting a check. They keep getting a check. They don't call you and say, hey, you know what? You probably could get a little bit lower. They just keep collecting their check. Every year they get a check. It's on you to look and see and to lower your insurances premiums. Taxes taxes are something. But if you have a business, you can lower your what you pay back in income taxes, period. If you have a business, I'd suggest to everybody that you have a side hustle. While we were doing my son's taxes one year, and he owed money, and I was just like, yeah, we can't do this. So we had wrote a children's book, and I was like, well, you can just, you wrote the children's book, so that's a business. So let's use that. We started, he added that and started his expenses, and he ended up getting $100 back. He went from owing $600 to getting $100 back. So having a business, a side hustle, helps, especially when you actually make money, because he made money selling books. So great way to lower that. Right now, mortgage rates are a lot lower. So refinancing your mortgage to get that money, but don't use the money to, go out to eat more. Use the money so you can save. The main one is spending. Debt, first of all, let me just go to debt, because if you have credit cards that you are paying 20% or more, try to find a different credit card. First of all, you don't need to use credit cards. Business credit cards are the best ones, because a business credit card, most business credit cards, the interest rates are like
engines, and then we talk about that thing called the intake manifold.
Can you tell who that might be? To mute.
Yes, it's Donna. Okay. Could you mute, please? Thank you. Or you might be able to mute. Oh, that's okay.
My card.
Yeah, so okay. With your credit card debt, look at your credit. Find a credit card that has a lower amount of debt if you have to use it. And then, like my dad always says, pay it at the end of the month so you don't have to pay the interest rate. But some of us, we can't do that. We know that. But find one with lower. If you have to consolidate and get, one of yours that give you the 0% for a year, switch it over and see what you can do and try to, pay it off. But that will definitely help you find money to fund your goals. But spending, most of us spend way too much. And the best place that we have found to save money is in subscriptions. How many people have cable plus Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and Disney? You don't need all that. So let me just say, now, I know these companies don't like this, but Tish, you get Disney, I get HBO Max, you use mine, and Jonathan, you get Netflix, and we all gonna share on that. But then we only just paying at one. This is where family and friends should come in. There is no way that everybody in the family should have all of these things when you can have like 3 or 4 people on an account. It makes no sense. We can do it. Save money. And then some of us have subscriptions to stuff that we don't even remember. We just have it. Go back and look at those to make sure you don't have subscriptions and you're not using them. But you know, Starbucks. I just had a cup of Starbucks today, but I was spending a lot of money on Starbucks coffee, and it was like ridiculous. So I had to. Well, first of all, before I just stopped going, because when I was at work, we all went. I changed the way I drank Starbucks. I got Americano, and I you know, doctored it up or whatever, but I didn't get the fanciest drink because it costs too much. Easiest drink because it costs too much. You know, Amazon. I don't know. During the pandemic, anybody got Amazon? That was the only person you saw? Yeah, that was your contact with the world, was the Amazon drivers coming to bring you packages. Yeah, we got to stop. we got to slow it down on the Amazon, and that's where we can find monies to help fund our goals. So somebody might be like, well, I just spend $30 or $5 a day on my Starbucks. Well, you aren't just spending $5 a day, you're actually spending $150 a month, and you're really missing out on about $92,000 in 20 years. That $5 a day would be that at a 9% interest. Now, I can show you some more about that, because just so you can see that you think that I'm just spending this, but you're not just spending that, because that money, that if you didn't spend it and then you saved it, it would be a whole lot 20, 30 years from now. That's how you need to start looking at being intentional with your money. Okay, so now that we found some money, now we got to pocket it. But it matters where you save your money. It makes a difference, because taxes, what we talked about, you don't, oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to have to, how do I go back? Oh, okay. You don't want to have to be taxed on the money. You want your money to grow. So, you know, when you make a salary, you know, they're going to take their money off the front. Any kind of bank, stocks, bonds, you're getting taxed right now. In the 401ks, the traditional IRAs, annuities, you're going to get taxed when you pull it out. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, that'll be fine, because when I'm older, my tax bracket is going to be lower. So they're okay with that, but it's still going to be taxed. But a life insurance policy and a Roth IRA, not going to be taxed at all. But the problem with a Roth IRA, if you want the money before you're 59 and a half, you're going to be penalized 10%. So it may as well is a tax. You're going to be penalized. A municipal bond, which is not taxed, but it can lose its value. Also, the Roth IRA, that's usually invested in the risky stock market. So it can go up and down. So you might not have what you thought you had in 30 years. That's why we suggest that everybody have at least one insurance policy in their bag of money, you know, put in their whole, I don't know what the word I'm trying to say, but in your portfolio. That's it, portfolio. In your portfolio, you should have at least one life insurance policy, and it's for your retirement, because the life insurance policy is tax-free and risk-free. So when you're ready to retire, that money is there, and you don't have to worry about the fluctuation of the market, because not everybody likes roller coasters. I love roller coasters but I don't want my money to do a roller coaster and when I'm ready to retire. So if you look at this, which is really kind of interesting to me, I love this whole, like, when the stock market crashed, right? If you see, let's just go to 2008, because that one was horrible, because I felt some of that one. But then you see how it went down negative 57%, but in 132 months, it went up 320%. It's 326%. It's like, wow, it made a great recovery. But what if you retire in 2008? That recovery didn't mean nothing to you, or you had to stay at work. I mean, you couldn't retire because your money had drastically decreased. You see, that's why you don't want, I'm not telling you not to put money in the stock market. You see these numbers, it's awesome. But your retirement money, if you want to make sure it's there, that might not be the best place. So at least have one insurance policy, and the insurance policy is called a indexed universal life insurance policy. And if you want to know more about it, I will definitely talk to you more about it off this. But you want to make sure that you have your money risk-free and tax-free so it can be there when you retire. But like I said, that's just one thing. Definitely have some stocks, definitely have some mutual funds, definitely have all of those things, but make sure you at least have something that won't go up and down with the market, because this corona crash, we don't know what, because we still in it. We don't know what, but if y'all notice, the stuff is going up and down, up and down, up and down. I think it just went down this week. It went down again. And it's like, what is happening? But now this is when it's down. Of course, it's a great time to buy. If it's not for your retirement, it's like it's just money that you're gonna just hold off and wait. It's a great time to buy when it's down. But for retirement, you might want to think twice about the stock market up and down roller coaster. Okay, all right. So we're to my favorite topic. Protect your greatest asset, and that is you. You are your money making machine. You are, because that's how you live. You are your money making machine. The work that you do, you're your money making machine. Your family depends on you to go out and make money. So you have to be protected, just like you protect your car. You insure your car, and the cell phone. Most of us insure it because we've all had where we dropped it, and then we had to pay another $1,200. So we insure our phones, our iPads, our computers. We insure our houses, but most of us don't have the right kind of insurance on ourselves. Some of us have life insurance. I hope everybody has life insurance, but some of us don't have enough, and we don't have living benefits life insurance. So life insurance, you don't have to die to use. That's what we were talking about at the very beginning. COVID-19, people went into the hospital, they were on ventilators, and they got out, and they got like an $80,000 bill that they got to pay. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't just have $80,000 to pay for a COVID stay. Or what about the people that can't go back to work because they're still too weak? I know people that got COVID, they got better, but they were still really weak, hard to breathe, and they can't really go back to work yet. These are the kind of things: strokes, heart attacks, cancer, because not all cancers are terminal, but all of these different things, if that happened to you, you can get up to 70% for the minor stuff, but for a terminal illness, you can get up to 90% of the benefits. So if I have $100,000 policy, I can get $90,000 for a terminal illness. I can get $70,000 for a stroke, heart attack, cancer, COVID, depending on what the doctor said that how serious it is. And then a critical injury. I heard of a guy, he was a doctor, and he went walking up a mountain or whatever, and he came down. He was waiting for a car to pick him up. He fell, hit his head on a rock. Doctor, surgeon, and critical injury, because he had a brain injury, and it took him like 2 years to recover. Now, he didn't have the living benefits life insurance, and mind you, he was a doctor, so yeah, he got a lot of money, but guess what? He ain't had that much money, because doctors are no different from the rest of us. Most of them live paycheck to paycheck too. So if they're not working, guess what? No money is coming in. That's how it is. I don't care. Now, you have some people that don't have to work, but most people have to work. And if they're not working, no money's coming in, everything is going downhill for them. So having a living benefits life policy would have helped, because he would have probably got $1 million policy, and a brain injury like that, he would have been able to get 75% of that. $750,000 would have tied him for that 2 years until he could work again. And let's think about it. He probably will now be a surgeon again with a brain injury like that. So these are kind of things that we have to think about. The chronic disease, you know, as we get older, if we're unable to do something, you know, to bathe ourselves or dress ourselves, we can pull money from the living benefits of policy too to help take care of us, and we'll get a monthly stipend, not a whole. They'll send us a monthly check. Now I put, don't forget your children, because let's say, God forbid, your child got a childhood cancer or had an injury on a bike, or, you know, I saw a lot of kids were having injuries sledding. You know, if your child got sick like that, are you going to work? I wouldn't go to work. So if I got a living benefits life policy on my child and they had that, we could take that money and now I don't have to go to work. So I can be at the hospital with my child 24/7. I'm helping my child, because who's gonna take care of my child better than me? Nobody. Even if they're in a hospital and I'm not really taking care of, let me just say, my sister, my niece was in the hospital. She almost died. She coded like 5 times. My sister was there the whole time with her, and she had to let the doctors know, or the nurses, when the nurses came in, she had to talk for her, because my niece was in a coma. My sister had to do the talking. She had to tell them no, and just the stress of it all. It was no way that she would have been able to go to work, you know? And so I think about it like this. Like, why don't we insure our children? Most people do not have life insurance on their children. And I'll share something else. My 22-year-old nephew, he just committed suicide 2 weeks ago. And it was very difficult on us, but he didn't have insurance from when he was younger. So, but he didn't have insurance, period. But if my sister would have had an insurance policy on him when he was younger, he would still have that insurance policy. But she had to pay for everything, because he was in college. So he had to pay to bring his body back home, which is a lot of money. But had she gotten that insurance policy when he was a teenager or when he was younger, she would have had money to help her with that. But people don't think in terms of something could happen to my child, but we should. That's what insurance is. We say something can happen to my phone, something can happen to my car, something can happen to my house, something can happen to me, something can happen to my child. We need to insure our children. And like I said, living benefits life insurance makes it a little bit easier, because it's like, most people don't like to think about life insurance because you think about dying. But with living benefits, you don't have to think about dying. You just have to think about, you know, if something bad happens, we're good. You don't have to think the worst stuff, but just know that if my child gets sick, if I get sick, we'll be fine. So I really, really, really am a proponent. This is something that I'm really passionate about, making sure that we all protect our greatest assets, and that's us and our children. To play this for you guys. Uh-oh, what happened? Not, I don't know if it's gonna, maybe it's.
I just wanted to say I'm so sorry for your loss with all of that. That's awful.
Thank you.
My name is Joel.
Can you guys hear this?
This is my living benefits story.
My name is Raykel. I live in Boca Raton, Florida. I've been in the insurance industry for over. After that, she asked for one with us.
Daniela.
It's not us.
I think it hesitated.
It's just, you know, can you survive financially? What, basically, you know, a lot of people go to the hospitals and then they get better, but then they realize they got to pay their bill. Even with in health insurance, those bills are something. And with the living benefits policy, that's something that you wouldn't have to worry about. All you have to worry about is getting better. You would not have to worry about, how am I going to pay for this? Is this going to bankrupt me? Are we going to lose our house because I got sick? You won't have to do that if you get a living benefits policy. So we are at the end, and my company, my personal company is Blessed Mind Money Mindset Coaching, because a happy mind, a blessed mind is one that is not, that is elevated. They elevate their thoughts and they don't worry about certain things, and because you just feel blessed. And I feel like when you have your money right, your mind is right. You just feel better. It's lighter. You don't have all those nagging worries. So I'm here, and I'm here to help people. Even if you don't work with me, I'm just letting you know that a living benefits policy is something that you need. Having tax-free retirement, mortgage protection, and the $1 Million Baby Plan. That we call it the $1 Million Baby Plan, but it's for a 12-year-old, 16-year-old. It's just better if you started when they're a baby. If you put in $50 a month when your baby is born, that baby can be, close to a millionaire when they're 65. And that's the kind of thing, is like being able to save money, $200 or $300, whatever, being able to save it when they're younger and then just keeping it. They have money for college. They'll have money for down payment on a house. They'll have money for retirement. It's like, and then just getting your children in the mindset of saving money for themselves also. So with that, we have at Five Rings Financial, we offer Money 101 workshops, a few of them every week. We have the Wine, Women, and Wealth. We do that once a month, well, twice a month, because I actually am a part of 2 of them. And we also do now a Money, Mommy, and Me, so you can teach your children about money, because they won't learn it at school. You're gonna have to do it. So we have the Money, Mommy, and Me to help you teach your children how to do better